It appears we made it safely in one piece.
Ow. Speak for yourself.
Perhaps if you properly planned your landing, you wouldn't be complaining so much.
Well, excuse me. We can't all land on our feet as perfectly as you do.
Well, I suppose idiocy can be fixed overnight, so I'll just have to make do with your flawed ways.
Hey!
Musaki.
What is it?
There's no time. We need to hurry. Based on our experiences thus far, I'm sure you know what trial awaits you now.
You can't mean...
But I do. You shouldn't have any issues coming to blows with someone like myself, especially after your treatment of poor little Passion Lip.
Yeah, but...
You so mercilessly plowed through the others, yet the thought of doing the same to me bothers you? How you insult me, Musaki. Need I remind you that you have to do this to progress? This was inevitable from the beginning. You have to accept it and continue onward. Musaki.
All right, fine. Let's just get this over with, then.
Idiotic human. Don't make that face, Director. We have a job to do or we won't be able to get back.
Yeah, I know. By now, you masters probably already know the drill. The last couple of videos have not made that apparent. It's time for another boss fight, and this time we're going up against the alter ego of pleasure herself, Meltlilith.
One thing to note, upon entering the battle, you'll immediately notice 2 passive skills have already been activated on Melt before the fight even begins. The first one is Karmaphage, which increases her resistance to charm and stun, while also increasing her defense as her HP is lowered. The second skill, Sadistic Constitution, increases her attack each turn and inflicts taunt status on one of your party's servants for 1 turn. Upon depleting the first break bar, Melt will be able to reduce the attack and inflict Skill Seal on a member of your party for 1 turn. And when the final break bar crumbles, she'll gain a skill known as Codependence, which will reduce HP recovery for the entire party for 1 turn. It's important to note that each of the skills listed above can only be used on that particular break bar. For example, she will be unable to use Karmaphage after breaking the first bar, and so on.
She's one tough opponent. Mel really is. But luckily, she's also very straightforward to defeat with the right team. Being an alter ego, we highly recommend against bringing cavalry units into this fight, since she'll do a 50% more damage to those units. Knight class servants are your friends for this battle, especially ones that have a single target noble phantasm. For servants, our biggest recommendation would be Ruler Martha, Enkidu, or Skahak to be your damage dealer. Melt has the Divine trait, and these 3 in particular have skills that give them an extra boost against those type of enemies. But if you don't have any of these, that's fine. The fight is still doable. Papa, Saber Lancelot is an excellent pick for this battle due to his single target noble phantasm, ability to generate critical stars, buff his own critical damage, as well as increase his own arch card effectiveness for 1 turn. Bedivere, Ku, Rabadin, and David are also good options, since they all have single target noble phantasms, and David in particular can protect your party with a party evade for 1 turn.
While we did mention that bringing cavalry class servants is not the best idea, that was only if you planned on bringing them as your main attacker. You're still going to need some servants to support you. The usual big 3 casters, Waver, Tamamo, and Merlin, are always good choices, whether you have one of your own or a support. Hans, Jean, and Nero Bride are also good for this fight. And of course, we can't forget everybody's favorite Kohai for the extra defense.
As for Mystic Codes, well, that depends on your playstyle. The battlesuit is always a no-brainer simply for the stun, party-wide attack up, and ability to swap party members. For all those masters who love solo runs, the Atlas uniform is your best friend as always.
We can't let you guys go without one final thing. Craft Essence recommendations. You'll want to use craft essences that help you do extra damage against divine enemies. Luckily, we actually got one of these for free in the most recent Valentine's event, Fundo ou Chocolat. It gives you an extra 25% damage buff against divine enemies, as well as 30% NP charge. If you manage to limit break this one, the damage dealt to a divine enemy increases to 30%, as well as increasing the Noble Phantasm gauge to 50% at the start of the battle. Depending on your team composition, the usual holy trinity of craft essences, Formal Craft, Limited 0 over and imaginary around are good on your main attacker, and also any craft essences that increase MP charge are always beneficial.
And that honestly should cover the basics of everything you need for this fight.
There, Director. It's okay. This was something we needed to do after all. You realize Melt would be angrier with you if she saw you like this.
Yeah, I know.
If you know that, then you know that going easy on her is the opposite of what she wants. When we get back, you should greet her with a smile. Be proud of your victory, Director. It's what she would want.
You're right. Thanks, Nina. Now let's get back to her so we can tell her then.